This is my mother-in-law, Louise.
Oh, no. Can I get in the back?
And this is my cow, Louise. And this is Farm to Brookdale.
The birds we raise on the farm really depend on the organic feed that we feed them every morning. They also forage for bugs, and we feed them some table scraps. And they eat some surprising things as well.
We keep the chicken feed in this box here we picked up at a Army surplus store. And it's rodent proof, keeps the mice and the rats out, so works really good. And then inside we keep this tote, which is filled with about 1,000 pounds of chicken feed. You can see they know what's coming. And then down here, give you a look and see at all this organic feed down here. Hello, girls. What do you say? Huh? You ready for some food, are you? All right, well, let's get you fed then. As you can see, there's all types of tasty ingredients on here. We would eat some of this. Organic wheat, organic corn, flaxseed meal, alfalfa pellets, maybe not, but there's all types of things from the raw ingredients down to vitamins and even probiotics down here. And we feed them this every morning. And the turkeys, chickens, and guineas all come in to get their fair share. And there's a pecking order. As you can see, the ones that are higher on the pecking order will let the other ones know who's boss and chase them off a little bit. All organic ingredients. Corn and Milo and all types. So we're really fortunate to have Reedy Fork Farm, Organic Farm, not too far away. We're up in Gibsonville. But because the chickens are allowed, hello boys, they're competing for attention this morning. Because the chickens are allowed to roam free out here, they'll eat bugs and grass and flowers and pretty much anything they can find to scrounge on the ground. It kind of depends on the time of the year. Fewer bugs obviously in the winter, but in the summer they'll put a good hurting on the bug population around here, especially the ticks. The guineas are especially good at cleaning up the ticks. When we first moved in here, we had probably, between Sue and I, we probably had the first year somewhere in the neighborhood of a couple dozen tick bites or ticks on us. And last year, or the year after we introduced the guineas, we probably had one. This year we had none. So they're really doing a good job on the tick population and helping keeping that down, which is great, because ticks are disease bearers, and they carry Lyme disease and various other diseases, and they help keep us healthy, and they also protect the chickens from predators. They will gang up and basically intimidate them away from us. We've got about 12 of them, and they'll even chase the cats off sometimes. They when they make that noise, all of them at the same time, it sure does scare off most predators. Not all of them, but they do a pretty good job. There's one right there, telling us what she thinks.
Guineas don't make the best parents. They will hatch the eggs and then they'll abandon the chicks. So what we've done is let the chickens raise them, and they do hatch them out and raise them as their own. and they will protect them from predators and so on. And what that also does is it keeps the guineas around. They're wild birds, so they will disappear if they don't have a connection with the farm. So they grow up with the turkeys and chickens and do just fine. Another thing that people probably don't know about guinea eggs is they are very strong. As you can see here, I'm walking across them, 200 pounds of pressure on them, and they're just fine.
We've run out of food in the tote and hay, which is a good script. So we get, there it is. We're gonna head up to Reedy Fork Organic Farm and meet with Ben Miller, who's a 6th generation farmer up there, and get another tote and bring it back.
My name is Ben Miller. I work here at Reedy Fork Farms. We have a dairy farm here, but then we also have a feed mill that was started about 10 years ago. The dairy farm started in 1950, but it goes back a lot further than that. Before that, my grandpa had tobacco and small grain farms. Before that, I'm not really sure. You know, they were all just kind of farms back then. But I'll be the 6th generation on the farm.
Wow.
So that's, I don't know how many years that is exactly.
But you've been here for that long, 6 generations on this plot of land,
Yep.
500 acres you got?
Yeah, well, not the total 500 acres. It was, back then it was probably closer to 200 to 300 acres. My grandpa expanded it a lot when he had, in the 70s, land was cheap and farming was profitable, and he was able to buy some land then,
Right.
you know. So,
Yeah.
so then, but we've been on this base area is the main part of the farm, and that's what the main part is. So yeah, my grandpa started milking cows in 1950. He was milking 8 cows by hand, and he got his first milk check in 1950. I think he said it was like $4 or something like that. I mean, it was something, you know, just silly. So then in the 80s, my uncle sort of went to school and came back and wanted to farm, and so he's been co-owners for several years, and he continued the farm up until 2007. Some things in the dairy industry were getting real bad, and wasn't really sure what we were going to do, and George looked at the option of going organic. And so in 2007 we decided, well, in 2006 we started the transition, and it takes a year for the cows to transition, and then in 2007 we started sending out certified organic milk. So that was also one of the hardest years we've ever had. That was when it didn't rain from like May till November. So it was on top of transitioning. You know, we're feeding cows organic feed and getting conventional prices, and it was a tough year. And then the drought and all that was really tough. So then we, about the same time, Organic Valley needed somewhere to store organic feed, because along with us, 5 other farms in North Carolina were transitioning, so they needed a southeastern place to store feed. So we said, well, we've got some options, we got some things we can store some feed for you. That turned into grinding some feed. We get corn in, and we bought a portable mill, and we could grind behind a tractor and do several loads for other farms around here. And then one day, somebody came up and asked if we could do some chicken feed. So we started with the chicken feed, and we were bagging feed out of the back of a portable mill on a little scale, just the most rinky-dink way you can think of doing it. We did it that way for several years. And then finally in 2011, we had kind of decided that we needed to do something a little different than how we were doing it. It was getting very labor intensive, very, just a whole lot more work than what it was really worth. So we decided to build the mill here. We built this in 2011.
Ben, how many tons a month do you put through the mill?
It's about 200 tons a month.
Wow.
So that's when we built the mill. We were grinding behind a tractor, and so that burns diesel fuel, and it burned a lot more fuel. And so when we did that, we got a grant through, I can't remember who it was through, but they did an energy audit to see what our energy usages were. And doing this way, we are 93% more energy efficient than how we were before.
Wow.
So we easily qualified for the grant, and that helped a lot. Plus, it saved us a lot of money. You know, in other words, and you think about something like this costing a lot of money to run, but our electric bill here is not that much more than what your average household electric bill. Yeah, now I guess so. 2018, and we're still just chugging along, making chicken feed, and cow feed, and pig feed. We're milking about 95 cows right now. That's about where we were at when we transitioned. We went down in our numbers for a little while, but now we're building back up to get back where we'd like to be. So.
Cool.
We do. We have about 500 laying hens. So, and we get the eggs off from those, and we sell them here at the farm. We also sell to Weaver Street and Deep Roots Market.
All right.
So,
Yeah. Co-ops.
yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's where we sell. When we can, we sell the co-ops
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to give us a tour inside and take
Yeah.
a look at some of the stuff?
Yeah. Let me go in here and see if I can shut it down real quick so you can hear a little more when I'm talking.
On part 2 of our visit to Reedy Fork Farm, Ben will show us around the mills, and we'll also show you some footage of the chickens eating some weird things on the farm. Hey Lou, it's Mike, and I'm here with Sue and Janice on the phone, and we have something to say.
Merry Christmas! We love you, Mom.
Love you, Mom.
Wish you were here or we were there or both.
Bye.